guys, another kind of road report. Just I've been talking about route recon and stuff like that quite a bit, so I thought I'd talk about some of the things you can do, and you don't actually, thanks to modern technology, you can do a lot of it from your own home. Granted, you could start with a map, an actual paper map, and look over primary and alternate routes. Then you can go to your computer and use programs like Google Earth or just regular Google Maps, and then start following the route and looking at areas that potential threat areas, of course, built up areas, cities, and then looking for things like prisons and whatnot. Now, the one thing you're not going to be able to see usually, obviously, on there, unless sometimes you can go to different state, the Department of Transportation websites and get details about where there's ongoing, like highway construction, stuff like that, bridge construction, things like that, because those areas create choke points. A lot of times they drop down to one lane, and they've got the concrete dividers on both sides. So if there's any sort of disabled vehicle or something like that in that area, that whole area can end up being, you're going to have to find a bypass, and you don't want to get stuck in that because if you end up with traffic behind you, you may not be able to, back out. There may be no exit for you. So those are things to look at. So you start with that. Then when you find on like Google Maps or Google Earth, or Bing, any of those other ones, they all pretty much have the same stuff now. You can go in, and then once you see those areas, you kind of identify them on the map or whatever. You can circle them or whatever. Use some sort of color coding system, for different threat levels. And so you get there, and then you can go to Street View, and actually physically look, via your computer. The most, and it's only as recent as, of course, the last time that was updated. And usually you can see, at least on Google Earth, I know you can see when the imagery is from. I don't know if Street View you can or not. Someone can probably chime in about that, but and just get an idea of what's around some of those areas, so you're not caught off guard. If you're not able to do an actual physical, travel the route yourself, obviously it'd be ideal that you travel the route and some alternate routes prior to actually having to use it in case of an emergency. So same thing, it's just like training with any of your equipment. You want to use it before you have to use it, so you know what to expect, or you can at least know somewhat to expect. And there's always variables that are going to get added into any equation that you may not have been expecting. So that's where you adapt and overcome, right? You just react, think on your feet, and move out. So that pretty much covers it. Like, another thing you can look at the roads is like, so if, for example, this highway right here, it's good and wide. There's no concrete divider in the center, which is good. A lot of highways now have, besides instead of the concrete, they probably a cheaper route or whatever, they have the steel cables. It's basically keeps someone from falling asleep and going across the other lane and heading on, and somebody at 70 miles